So this is not shortbread, and this is not shortbread. I know, like you, I've probably gone my whole life thinking American shortbread was shortbread and wondering why anybody wanted to eat that. Shortbread was just kind of the cookie that gave up, right? Well, that's because we're not making it the right way, and today we're gonna learn how to make it the right way. 5-ingredient, fluffy, beautiful little cookie bars. These are Ted Lasso's biscuits with the boss. I saw them during a snowstorm. We were watching Ted Lasso. I said, wait, what? That is shortbread? Ran to the kitchen with my pastry and baking book, whipped up a batch. Oh my God, they're so delicious. They only take about 40 minutes. Let's go ahead and make them. Are you ready to have biscuits with the boss? Okay, so for the ingredients, like I said, it's gonna be things that are very common in your pantry. You're gonna have all-purpose flour, you're gonna have sugar, you're going to have a little bit of salt. You can use whatever salt you like. Everybody has a different salt these days. And then when it comes to the butter, you just wanna get the very best butter you can. When it comes to shortbread or sugar cookies around the holidays, you definitely just wanna get the best butter possible and the best ingredients possible because there isn't really that many ingredients. So then the last thing that you really wanna consider is the vanilla. I'm gonna be using vanilla beans. I got these from Costco, so I need to use them up. It was kind of an impulse buy. I'm gonna show you how to cut these open and use the vanilla bean paste inside for your shortbread, but you can also just use normal vanilla extract. That's perfectly fine. Or they have a product now, it's called vanilla bean paste. And all it is these vanilla beans made into a paste. So use this first, vanilla beans would be first. Second would be vanilla bean paste, third would be vanilla extract. But like I said, even if you use basic butter and basic vanilla extract, you are still going to love this recipe, trust. And the last item is gonna be your food processor. We're gonna make our shortbread sort of like batter dough using a food processor. You can certainly use a bowl and just mix it up really well. It just goes a lot faster with the food processor. You don't have to have an expensive food processor. I think you can get a cheap one for about $30, but that really helps this recipe come together lightning fast. Okay, so I've got my softened butter. I've been doing some other stuff around trying to get it where it's supposed to be. So we're gonna try the old trick that they say works, where you take a glass, I just had this filled up with hot water, and we are gonna put it over there, leave it for 5 minutes and see if this works. If not, all you need is butter that is soft but not warm. So we're gonna leave this for 5 minutes. We're gonna come back and we're gonna see if it's the appropriate amount of softened. Next up, we're gonna work on our vanilla beans. And what we need to do is we need to break into it to be able to get this stuff out. So all you need is your bean pod, put it down on the cutting board, and then you're just gonna take a sharp knife and we're just gonna run it along the edge. Try not to go all the way through the bean. Try to go through the first layer and then we'll just peel it back. And that is where all of the good stuff is. These are the little black specks that you see in very good vanilla icing and vanilla bean ice cream. This is what you're looking for. Okay, so we're just gonna run our knife along it and we'll have what we need. You can use a whole vanilla bean pod if you've got it. If you just wanted to use half, I think that would be plenty. But I am the vanilla nutcase. I want vanilla everywhere. I want my whole life to smell like vanilla. So we got our little bit of vanilla bean paste, and we're just gonna reserve this with the other ingredients. Let's see how it did. Yeah, that works pretty good. That's crazy. So I'm gonna tell you my way of making the shortbread cookies, and it's a lot easier than what they say is the official way of making shortbread, which is to cream the butter and the sugar all in at once and then add the flour. I just add it all and it always turns out well. Nothing bad has happened so far. So you should just know that this was one of those things where this is a recipe I wanted to make quickly and I want to be able to make it anytime I want. So I don't bother creaming the butter and the sugar all together first. I'm just saying nothing bad has happened. So if you want to do that, you are more than welcome to do it. The butter and the sugar go in first, followed by the vanilla, then you'll add the flour. I just add 2 cups of flour, okay? And then we're gonna do 3/4 cups of sugar. Some people in the recipes that you guys sent me, especially the British, I love you guys. You sent me a lot of recipes that used powdered sugar, and I did experiment with that, but I liked this better, and I wanted it to be easy. I wanted it to be something where you're sitting there playing a puzzle with someone that you love, and you're like, wouldn't it be nice to have cookies right now? And you just come and you throw everything in here, and then you have cookies in 30 minutes. I wanted it to be one of those things. And then I know y'all are gonna hate this, but 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna eyeball it. So these are the dry ingredients. Let's just give them a spin. We need to add our butter and the vanilla. So we have 1 package of Kerrygold butter, which is equal to 2 sticks of butter, which is equal to 1 cup of butter. And this is the contents of 1 vanilla bean. Like I said, you can use vanilla extract or the vanilla paste. Now just pulse it. There we go. Okay, so first it's gonna become kind of crumbly, and then it's going to actually kind of start to look like a dough. I'm gonna open it up, and I'm gonna scrape the sides down. And that's what you want. Quick test. You just wanna be able to kind of pinch it, and it holds its shape. So when it comes to the batter, I always give it a taste. Make sure you got enough salt. And that's phenomenal. Salt does not just taste like salt. It brings out the flavors in other ingredients, whether it's butter, whether it's vanilla, whether it's brisket. It takes what's there and enhances it. And that's why it's the most important ingredient. You can learn all about that in my new course, Intro to Cooking, which I will link below. Okay, so next step, we just need a small glass or a cake pan, and we're gonna line it with parchment. You don't have to do that, but it's gonna make it really easy to pop out. So I've got my parchment, and I'm just cutting it to the size of the pan. Easiest to work like this, and then just get your scissors. Booyah. So you want it to go like this, okay? So to make it stick, I have my butter sleeve. Or just smear it around in the pan. You could also use just a spray, and it'll hold it down for you. See, isn't that nice? It's like, it's glue. All right, now all that's left to do is put our batter that we made into our parchment lined glass tray. And I'm just gonna do it like this. I'm using my spatula to get it into all the corners, but I'm about to show you a great trick I've learned. So you can use a glass dish, like just a drinking glass, to just press it down and press it in. Okay, there we go. That's a nice top. I'm being extra fussy because I have to take a picture for the blog, but something like that. That's about what we're going for. And of course it smells wonderful. It smells like butter and vanilla, which I don't know if you knew this, it's a natural antidepressant. So we're gonna set the oven to 350 degrees. We should have already done that. Sorry, I should have done that in the very beginning. 350 degrees, then we would have been ready. Okay, we have 27 minutes, so we have time for a story. So whenever I really did first make these for the first time, it was the first time we were watching Ted Lasso. Why are we watching Ted Lasso? Because there was a snowstorm. And in Texas, we don't really have a snowstorm. What we have is rain that falls, and then all of the streets freeze, and everybody calls it a snowstorm, although I've never seen a whole lot of snow or a storm. But it's the coziness factor. It's the fact that we never get that. So we're all cuddled up and our friends are like, you really need to watch Ted Lasso, okay? Like, you love positive things. You're very upbeat and positive yourself. You're gonna love this show because it's like therapy. Like, it's just so much goodness. And so we started on the very first episode playing puzzles, snow or ice, you know, falling. And my husband got a call that he was gonna have to go to work the next day, because he does work in an industry where they work all the time. They work for delusional reasons, and I didn't think it was safe. So I was kind of arguing with him. And as soon as Ted Lasso comes on the screen and he gives his boss this little box of these cookies, and I'm like, what is that? I'm like looking for an escape. I'm upset. I cook for therapy. Okay, that's what I do. And so I go grab my baking and pastry book and come in here into the kitchen, make these for the very first time. And they are the perfect thing for a cold night out. You can have some hot tea or coffee with them. They sort of bridge the gap in between this like argument we were having that night, and he didn't go to work the next day. So I guess it turned out okay. And I also started that night my yearly recipe binder. So I'm a blogger and I cook a lot of original recipes, but I will go through recipes and write them down as I'm working on them, and they get a spot in my binder. So you can see it was January when we were watching Ted Lasso and when the storm came, and that's the first recipe for 2023. And then it just kind of goes through, and I have one for every year. But what it does, it allows you to have, it's kind of like a journal of all the recipes that you made last year. And then one day, you know, I'll have one for every single year, but one day someone will inherit my years of recipes, just like they'll inherit my cookbooks and my own personal recipes, and they'll be able to cook through the journey of my life. So I think it's a really cool idea. I think you should try it. It's a great way to keep all of your recipes in one place anyway. And if you cook as much as I do, which I know a lot of you do, you can just switch it out every single year, which is so nice. So there's a little idea for you. Let's see what's going on with those cookies. Okay. So you gotta have your hot tea to have biscuits with the boss. So that's what I've got. I cannot believe how perfect these are. They look nothing like American shortbread. I mean, they really don't. And let's have one. Delicious. Delicious, amazingly delicious, and it only takes 40 minutes. Now, if you want to try this recipe on your own, it'll be right below. I put a printable recipe on my blog, urbancowgirllife.com. It's where I go step by step. I'm not one of those recipe bloggers that tells the personal stories. No, I tell the personal stories here on YouTube, but I do give step-by-step directions on the blog over there. So you can get the recipe below or click over for a printable recipe on the blog. If you want to cook more with me, and you've been wondering where I've been this year, I was actually working on texascookingschool.com. It's my new recipe website. It's my new cooking website where I teach courses. And Intro to Cooking is the very first course. If you want to know what it's like to go through those first few classes of culinary school, this is the course for you. I worked on this course for like 6 to 7 months. I obsessed over every aspect of this course. We do a salt test. We go through all of the different types of knives, the different types of equipment, how to set up your kitchen, how to work through a recipe, just pretty much everything that you learn in those first couple of classes that gets you going for the rest of culinary school. And I will be coming out with more courses specifically geared to what you guys asked for. We're working on a chili course right now, and we'll probably have some friends on as well that can go into all different aspects of cooking with you. So you guys check this out. If you want to spend some more time with me, come over to texascookingschool.com. If you need any help at all, I'll be in the comments, or ask in the comments, because this recipe was built off a lot of family recipes that our British audience sent me, and I'm sure they would be very happy to help you. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Bye! Are you ready to have biscuits with the boss? I'm the boss. Yeah.